It was a busy morning at a downtown McDonald's. The line stretched to the door as people rushed to grab their breakfast before heading to work. Among the customers were a group of first responders, firefighters, paramedics, and police officers, taking a short break from their demanding shifts. The restaurant buzzed with their conversations as they laughed and shared stories about the night's events. Officer Martinez, who had just finished a 12-hour shift, leaned back in his chair, sipping his coffee. "Man, I swear, last night was insane," he chuckled, shaking his head. Meanwhile, the exhausted staff behind the counter struggled to keep up with the endless orders. Then the door swung open, and a man in a worn leather jacket and jeans walked in, his hands tucked in his pockets. He carried himself with a quiet confidence, his long dark hair slightly tousled. At first, no one paid much attention to him, until a young paramedic, mid-bite into his breakfast sandwich, suddenly froze. "Wait, is that Keanu Reeves?" he whispered, his voice filled with disbelief. Within seconds, all eyes in the room turned toward the unassuming man standing in line. Keanu approached the counter, unfazed by the growing murmurs behind him. The cashier, a teenage girl named Sarah, blinked several times before stammering, Can I help you, sir?" Keanu gave her a warm smile and then turned slightly to glance at the tables filled with first responders. "Yeah," he said casually. "I'd like to cover the bill for every firefighter, paramedic, and police officer here. And if more show up in the next hour, add them to my tab." The room went silent. The employees froze, stunned. The firefighters exchanged glances, and the police officers whispered among themselves. "Did he just say he's paying for everyone?" a firefighter murmured. The manager rushed from the back, pushing his glasses up his nose as he processed what was happening. "Sir, that's very generous. But are you sure?" Keanu nodded without hesitation. "Absolutely," he replied, pulling out his credit card. The staff scrambled to process the order, while the first responders remained speechless, unable to believe what was unfolding before them. As Keanu waited for his own meal, he didn't just pay and leave. He sat down among the first responders, engaging them in conversation. One officer, still in disbelief, leaned forward and asked, "Why are you doing this?" Keanu smiled, stirring his coffee. "Because I know how much you sacrifice every day. You put your lives on the line for others, and it often goes unnoticed." "I just wanted to say thank you," a firefighter chuckled. "Most celebrities wouldn't even acknowledge us." Keanu shook his head. "I don't consider myself above anyone. I've been fortunate, but that doesn't mean I forget the real heroes." The room was filled with an overwhelming sense of respect and admiration. One paramedic, Lisa, shared how her young son idolized Keanu's movies. Without hesitation, Keanu grabbed a napkin, signed it, and wrote a heartfelt message. "To your little hero at home, keep being awesome." He folded the napkin around a $100 bill and handed it to her. Lisa gasped. "I can't take this," she stammered. Keanu simply smiled. "Use it for something that makes him smile." Tears welled in her eyes as she clutched the note to her chest. The kindness didn't stop there. As the group continued chatting, a call came in for one of the paramedics. They had to leave immediately for an emergency. Keanu stood up and gave them a nod. "Be safe out there," he said, his voice sincere. As they rushed out, one officer hesitated before asking, "Would it be too much to ask for a photo?" Keanu grinned. "Only if we all get in." Employees, first responders, and even a few customers gathered around as a McDonald's worker snapped the picture. Just as the moment settled, Keanu's attention was drawn to a homeless man sitting outside the restaurant's window. The man, wrapped in a thin, tattered blanket, watched the scene unfold with a distant gaze. Without a second thought, Keanu grabbed a large bag from his order and walked outside. The first responders watched from inside as he crouched down, handing the man the bag of fresh food and a folded bill. The homeless man looked up, his hands trembling. "Why?" he asked softly. Keanu squeezed his shoulder. "Because we all deserve kindness," he said before heading back inside. The entire restaurant was in stunned silence, moved beyond words. As Keanu prepared to leave, the McDonald's manager approached, still in awe. "I've never seen anything like this," he admitted. "Thank you for reminding us that kindness still exists." Keanu simply nodded, not seeking recognition. As he stepped out the door, the first responders stood up from their seats, giving him a standing ovation. The entire restaurant erupted into applause. Even the customers who had no idea what had happened joined in, sensing the powerful energy in the room. Keanu, clearly,